It's a pleasure to have you here. The details now. Police in the Western region have launched a manhunt for the chief of the Upper Dixcove area for allegedly kidnapping the chief of Lower Dixcove and 4 of his subjects. Confirming the search to JoyNews, Public Relations Officer of the Western Region Police Command, DSP Olivia Irabna Adiku, said the police had information that Nana Hima Deche, the paramount chief of the Upper Dixcove, had mobilized his subjects and some well-built thugs wielding machetes and clubs to the palace of Nana Kwesi Agyemang the 4th to attack him and his subjects at Lower Dixcove. They went ahead to destroy properties, kidnap Nana Kwesi Agyemang the 4th and 4 of his men. It took the intervention of the Agona Nkwanta police to rescue Nana Agyemang the 4th and his subjects from the palace of the Upper Dixcove chief, Nana Hima Deche the 14th. According to the Western Region Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Adiku, the 5 were locked up in a room on the 2nd floor of Nana Hima Deche the 14th's palace. The rescue chief and his subjects were sent to the Nkwanta Hospital, where they are currently receiving treatment. The whereabouts of the suspect, the chief of the Upper Dixcove area, is not known. The windscreens of 2 vehicles belonging to Nana Kwesi Agyemang the 4th were smashed. My colleague Ina Thalia Kwanzaa joins us on the phone with more. Hello, Ina.
Hello, Bennett.
Can you share with us the history to all this?
Yes, so Bennett, I would like to correct that he's Nana Kwesi Agyemang the 9th.
The 9th?
Yes. Basically, I do not have enough information on what really had transpired for these alleged kidnapping to take place. But from what I have heard, there has been some bits and pieces of tension which has developed over the years, but that has not been settled. So according to what I'm hearing, there was a chief was installed yesterday, and this brought about this kidnapping, this alleged kidnapping.
Ina, tell us the status of the chief of Lower Dixcove, who we understand is in the hospital with his subjects. How are they doing?
They are responding to treatment. The paramount chief, Nana Kwesi Agyemang the 9th, and 4 of the subjects are currently at the Nkwanta Regional Hospital. But authorities would not speak to me on how their conditions are, but I have seen them, and they are indeed responding to treatment.
Ina, just for those who are not familiar with the area, just explain to us the 2 Dixcove areas. How far is the jurisdiction of the chief who is the suspect in this and the one who was allegedly kidnapped?
So Dixcove, both Upper and Lower Dixcove, is like a twin community. These are together like the Kendi Safari, and this is a fishing community. So from Upper Dixcove to Lower Dixcove is just like about 5 minutes walk away.
Well, and so what's the atmosphere in the town like now?
I understand that people from Lower Dixcove are also attacking people from Upper Dixcove, so there is heavy police presence there at the moment.
Ina, when you say attacking, what do you mean exactly?
They are also trying to attack people from Upper Dixcove, as in retaliate back what has happened to the chief and his subjects.
You spoke to the Western Region Police PRO, and she's been confirming the incident. Tell us more about what the police is hoping to do about this particular case.
So for now, they are still in search for the Upper Dixcove chief, and until they have gotten him, they cannot say anything about it. They cannot comment on what will happen. So they have gotten the chief, who is alleged to be the suspect in this case.
Do we know if the chief for the Upper Dixcove area has commented on this issue at all?
If he is willing to speak to JoyNews, I have sent him a message. I have called him several times. He is not taken, but I sent him a message, and he's ready to speak to this.
But so far in the communities, we haven't heard anything from him or his chief linguist. Nobody who speaks for him has spoken on the matter.
He says he is not aware He even got to know of this alleged kidnapping 1 a.m. when the regional police commander called him on phone to tell him that this is what is happening. But the whole day he has not been to his community, that is Upper Dixcove, because he is preparing ahead of the president's visit to the Western region tomorrow.
Okay, and so this is to say that he wasn't at home when this occurred?
Yes.
All right, we'll leave it for here now. We'll try and get more details on this. You did mention that there's heavy police presence, but this hasn't affected regular daily activities in any way, has it?
It has. It has been. Residents, both Upper and Lower Dixcove, are now living in fear, especially for the Upper Dixcove people.
Are children going to school? Are people able to go to work normally?
Most activities has been halted at the moment.
Thank you very much. Ina Thalia Kwanta is our correspondent in the Western region, giving us some details on this story we are just learning, and the police is also gathering some details. Well, the suspect, the chief of Upper Dixcove, Nana Obrimpong Himadechi, is on the phone now. He joins us for some reactions. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you, too.
All right, so you've been accused of abduction, kidnapping. What is your response?
Thank you. It's, as you rightly pointed out, it's just a news to me. I woke up this morning, I heard in the news that this is what is being circulated in the social media. So that's, I'm not on a run. No, I've committed no crime to be on a run. I'm a very law-abiding citizen. As I speak to you now, I'm putting myself together to get to the regional police command. I've called the regional police commander. This is what I've heard in the news, and I think it's not so pleasant. It's a very bad reportage, and it's preposterous and execrable. And I see no reason they need to tarnish my image as for some of these things are concerned. So I'm preparing myself to get this up.
Okay, before we come to the issue of someone trying to tarnish your image, we understand that there's a rift between yourself and the chief of the Lower Dixcove area. What exactly is it?
Yeah, sure. There's been a very long-standing rift. It didn't start today. It's been a long time. But the issue of the matter, the truth of the matter is, ever since I was restored, it's about 4 years now, and there have been several attacks on myself and my subject, and all these information have already been reported to the police, but we seem not to find solution to this end. People have been brutalized, people have been kidnapped, people have been murdered. A lot of series of it that we have been attacked, assaulted, and day in, day out, almost every single day, dynamite are being fired at us. Dangerous weapons are being used to chase us from our own land. We reported the matter to the police, but I state on authority that I have evidence that I said that the security system in our Hunter West, in the Western region for that matter, is compromised. And I am telling you, I have evidence that the police are implied with criminals. And that's what have actually brought this matter up. Honestly, if you ask me,
and these criminals, are you in any way referring to the chief of the...
No, that is, we have identified the people, the perpetrators of evil in the community. And there have been few people identified who are always purporting this evil. We've reported to the police, and as I speak to, not even a single arrest has been made, even for interrogations to be done for further prosecutions.
Nana Himadechi, you say that you're not in your community, and we are receiving information that the chief of Lower Dixcove and 4 of his subjects were found at your palace. Are you aware of this? Have you contacted the people?
I was informed by the regional police commander about 1 a.m. this dawn.
But have you spoken to your people on the ground? You have people who manage the palace for you when you're not around?
When the police commander called me last night, all he said was that this is a news he has heard, and he was actually calling me to ask me to call my people to order. And I told him that I was asleep when he called, so he should just let me first call and ascertain for a fact before I will revert. And I called my boss at 1 a.m. I called about 4 of them that were always around. I couldn't get through them. So this morning I tried speaking to some of them that what is happening. This is what I've heard around. And they said, oh, it also came to as a news to them.
So are they denying that this chief...
They are not denying. They are saying it is a news to them because they are now, because it is only purported by the police that they actually took them from my palace, which I was not around.
Yes, and so you're saying that none of your palace guards, nobody at your palace was aware that the police had come there and found the chief of Lower Dixcove and his subjects?
No, they have not reported such to me.
And so they are not aware of the raid, neither are they aware that these men were there?
As I speak, when I call them, what they narrated to me is quite different from what it means.
What did they narrate to you, sir? Do you mind sharing with us?
That's why I told you that they said as when I was even calling them at the time of 1 a.m., they were also asleep. They didn't get to hear of anything until this morning that they also heard the news as it's been circulated in social media.
Oh, okay. We've seen a couple of photos, and they've been trending on social media. Have you seen them? Does that look like your palace?
Oh no, perhaps the pictures I've seen it was pictures of Nana Christian being hospitalized. That was the pictures I saw. Oh. It was in a hospital situation, not a palace. Okay,
because we've seen some photos of Nana and some of his subjects shirtless, appearing to be in a living room.
But the truth, I wouldn't be so surprised if that happened. I wouldn't be so surprised.
Why wouldn't you be so surprised? Does it mean that you believe that somebody in your palace may have
not necessarily, because the issue that I've always been trying to just calm my people down, not to respond to, amidst the provocation. They should never react to whatever that comes from the lower Dixcove head. They should never respond. But yesterday, in fact, I spoke to them in the afternoon. When around 1 p.m., I got a call that one of my communities that there's already existing chief there. And that is the place, the president of the nation is supposed to catch sword for a landing beach at Dixcove, of which that area that the landing beach got constructed falls under my, which is the Trom area, of which there's already an existing chief. So we are preparing to even welcome the president on Wednesday for him to cut the sword. Only for us to hear yesterday, as in the afternoon, that Nana Christian, that's the paramount of Lord Dixcove, had installed a chief of that same area that there's an existing chief or there's a substantive chief. When I got to hear of the news that the program was ongoing, I called the police and I couldn't get through. So I sent one of my embassies to go to the police station and report the matter, of which they did. They reported to the police. There was no reaction. I had to call the MC to inform her that this is what I've heard. And I'm begging, the president is coming. It will be very bad when someone, because it was not just that they were doing installation, but they had brought macho men in the community and they were brutalizing and torturing people. And they were firing dynamite at my people.
All right. Nana Brimpong.
Ben Islam, I'm on the line.
Initially, you said that you believe that this is an attempt to tarnish your image. And just a while ago, you said that you wouldn't be surprised if it was actually, the act was actually done or the alleged crime committed. I just want to understand here where exactly you stand, because if you will not be surprised that it was carried out, then it happened in your palace, and then so are you saying that your own subjects or somebody who is under your authority is trying to tarnish your image?
No, what it is, on the contrary, what I'm trying to say is, on the issue of my image being tarnished, that's why I stated that I know that the police are in bed with criminals, of which the Nakwesiajma is the leader of that. The Lord Dixcove chief. So some of these things, when they are being, some of this reportage, when they are being said, the police have been compromised. So they are doing this just for their own benefit and just to tarnish our image, because we have refused to be compromised on the truth. We have refused to compromise on the truth. And I'm saying that I wouldn't be surprised, because the people had received calls earlier in the day indicated that the provocation was just so extreme that they have
What exactly happened that your subjects consider provocation?
That's something that they had
in the installation of a chief.
There's a substantive chief, a community there's already a substantive chief. He had attempted or had installed a new chief, and they are going to bring macho men in the town who were parading with deadly weapons and harassing and provoking my people that if they are men, they should come and they should fight, kind of stuff. Okay. And they were firing dynamite. They were firing dynamite at them.
Okay, so now you say that something happened that could have provoked all of this, but your men you spoke to at your palace are denying knowledge of the police coming into your palace to find these, the chief of the lower Dixcove area.
My men will never deny any truth of such a matter. They have been taught to tell the truth, even at gunpoint and even to the point of death. They have to stand by the truth and die by the truth.
And so are you...
If it is true, they will not deny it.
So are you in any way suggesting that this is a fabricated story? Because then it's a bit difficult to try and get the fine lines to this.
I'm yet even to ascertain for myself if indeed it did happen. Because I just got the reportage and I'm about reporting, because I've heard I'm on a run, why should I be on the run? So I'm about just getting to read the police command to report myself. I'm getting my lawyers in place, I'll be going, and when I'm done with that, I'll get to the community to find...
let's quickly wrap up this conversation now. You say this rift between yourself and the chief of the Lower Dixcove area began when you were installed about 4 years ago.
Sure.
Did he oppose your installation?
It has been from day one.
Okay, so that's where the problem is. So what do you hope to do to solve this issue now? This has been taking more of a national dimension now.
There's nothing much that can be done than the police just are allowing the law to take its course and whatever it is, lawlessness to come to an end.
You are accusing the same police of being in bed with criminals. So
yes,
you actually said that it was...
We've traveled length and breadth of the country.
So apart from the police in the Western region, how else do you hope to achieve this?
We have traveled the length and the breadth of the country. We even got it to a national level to even report to the CID boards. We've done all that. We engage anybody we think matters. As well, some of these matter, and it appears that it's always hit a hard work, and that's just some of the. And as I speak to you now, the reason I'm saying that it is just a reportage to undermine some of our reputation is that currently the police in the community have joined forces with the Lower Dixcove people, and they are brutalizing people of Upper Dixcove. As I speak to, it's ongoing.
Okay, we need to get the police to respond to that because this is a serious allegation, and I must say that we've been trying to reach the police even before we got through to you for their side of the story. But thank you so much for your time this morning. Nana Obrimpong Himadichi the 14th.
You're most welcome, Benny.
Is the chief of Upper Dixcove, and you've heard his side of the story. We are still trying to get the police to respond on this. He's made a lot of allegations there. We definitely need to hear the police's side of this, and we'll let you know that. But as you may be aware, we said earlier that the police was looking for this chief we just spoke to. He says he's ready to cooperate with the police. We'll be following this keenly. Our correspondent, Ina Thalia, is also following up, and we'll let you know whatever happens.